So instead of saying boo for Halloween, we should say something much scarier like commitment.
Disclaimer, this video was made for strictly comedic/artistic purposes. No offense is intended towards any individual featured in this video. Welcome back, friends. Now we'll see how stupid and promiscuous women can be, hiding behind their misconceptions. Let's dive in, but first, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Single women in your 30s, it's cuffing season and I need to give you some cold hard facts. If you're ready to be in a committed relationship with a man, you need to work smarter, not harder. I dated for 4 years and had some fun experiences, but when I was ready to find real commitment, I changed my dating parameters and it was so much more worth my time. I'm sure I've said these before in other videos, but I'm here to remind you what worked for me. Number 1, only dating men over 35. I live in New York City. I was dating men who live in New York City. And let's just be real, a lot of them aren't ready to settle down until they're over the age of 35. They either have career goals they're trying to meet or they're still just out there having fun. But when I started only saying yes to dates with men over 35, the quality was so much better. Number 2, only dating men who owned a home. This could be they own their apartment in the city or they own an investment property somewhere else. If a man has purchased property, it shows commitment, it shows financial stability, and it shows future planning. If he's making these kinds of decisions for his future, he's probably ready for a serious relationship. And that has proven to be true for me. And number 3, if over half of their friend group are in serious relationships or married. I have found that men who run around with a bunch of other single men, like none of their friends are in relationships, the likelihood of them getting into a serious relationship is slim. But if a man has a bunch of friends who are married, they have wives, they have girlfriends, they have children, then they're starting to get to that place as well. And they'll be more eager and ready to start a relationship. They're not going to be tempted by a bunch of single boys trips and never settle down. So ladies, save your precious time. Do some recon before you say yes to a date. While no one's perfect and you still need to feel a spark, it helps to weed out the non-committal men if you're looking for men over 35 who own homes and have friends who are married. Just trust me. And good luck.
It's as if women under 30 are ready for serious relationships. So maybe it's a universal measure for either gender. Guess that means finding a woman who's grounded, hasn't dated around too much, has taken homemaking classes, and has family experience.
I say that I'm single and people are immediately like, oh my god, but you could totally get a boyfriend. I know. Why would I want one though? Because right now I'm doing my makeup, getting ready to go hang out with my best friends in Paris on a Friday night, drinking Prosecco and blasting girly pop in my apartment, my own apartment where I live alone. And I spent the day at the spa and doing Pilates and reading. So until someone is gonna add more value.
Pack my makeup with me to go to Tennessee and pack with me to go to Tennessee and get ready with me to go to Tennessee. I've never traveled with me to Tennessee. This might just take the cake for one of the most insane brand trips I've ever been on. I'm in Tennessee with Glow Red. Literally just landed in Tennessee and I have a get ready with me for my first full day in Tennessee. Get dressed with me for my first full day in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's how I like it. Just like that.
Here's my biggest unpopular opinion. The prettiest girls don't get guys. Let me explain. Have you ever wondered why the prettiest girls are always single? I think for women, there are different degrees of pretty. There's like cute pretty, and then there's drop dead gorgeous pretty, like Nicole Scherzinger. If you're in the drop dead gorgeous category, chances are you're really intimidating to guys. They either think you must already have a boyfriend or that you wouldn't even look in their direction, and because they fear rejection, they wouldn't dare come and speak to you. Guys love to flirt with women any chance they can get, but only with women that they think that they can easily get. Don't get me wrong, really pretty girls do get approached by guys sometimes, but typically it's guys that are way below their league and like really ugly guys, because those guys don't have an ego. They don't really fear rejection because they get rejected all the time. If you feel like guys never approach you, but you notice that they're always staring, you're way prettier than you think. Yeah, if you're a really pretty girl and you're wondering if you're ugly because you never get approached by guys, just know that it's because they're probably scared of you.
Did she decide this because she thinks she resembles Nicole Scherzinger? I'd say it's simpler. Women with such beauty often pursue wealthy suitors over love, as beauty isn't a cheap pursuit. On to the next video.
Dreading reality is that if you are a woman and you want to date men, you have to accept that you will have to teach them and you will have to hold them accountable. And there are so many reasons for this, but I believe that the main reason is friendship. Women have so much more practice in elements of having a relationship than men do, because from a young age, we have access to vulnerability and intimacy and connection in a way that men do not get until their first partner. For most women, even when we are as young as like 8 years old. We are learning about how to set boundaries. We are learning about how to communicate because we have best friends, because we are best friends with other women. We are learning about what intimacy and connection means. And even if you are dating a man with the best of intentions, that is kind and that listens, and when you rant about the patriarchy and how much men suck, they agree with you and they're not defensive and they're so open to everything that you say, it doesn't matter how good their intentions are, you will always have to teach them. I don't really feel like men can ever catch up to women. Like, this definitely lessens as you get older. Like, I'm 25 now, so the dating range of men that I would engage with is like 25 to 30, and almost all of them will have had multiple relationships. But if a man has had like 2 or 3 relationships from age 18 to 26, let's say, how is that going to make up for 18 years of not having real practice with connection and communication and boundaries? I genuinely think that this societal idea of like women mature faster than men is not entirely innate. It's not entirely due to the nature of being a woman. So much of it is due to the fact that we are held accountable by close connections and close proximity to others from day one. And I feel like we're seeing a societal trend right now of women refusing to date men, which I totally get. Like, it's something I've taken space of. But this whole idea of going boy sober, it sort of just perpetuates this, right? Because as long as we live in a society where men can only practice connection through their romantic connections with women, this is always going to be a problem. In the least pick me way possible, I feel like I have a lot of empathy for men and for the male experience. I've had male partners, I have, a lot of male friends, and I've talked about this with all of them. And I just don't think that this is something that can be solved easily on an individual level. Like, even if you are a man that has the utmost awareness of this dilemma and really endeavors to solve issues with emotional vulnerability and intimacy, you can't like talk to a wall. Like, you need other people to pursue friendship and connection the same way that you do. Men get so triggered on here when I use the word patriarchy, but this is what I mean when I say that the patriarchy hurts men just as much as it hurts women. It perpetuates male loneliness, because this idea that we have of masculinity, this performative masculinity, perpetuates male loneliness. And whilst women who date men are severely frustrated by this increasing lack of dateable men, I think it's because men have less practice with connection than ever before, as capitalism is ramped up and community is more and more disconnected than it's ever been before. Frustrating as this all is, I do feel like women at least have each other. They at least have the vulnerability of sisterhood, the vulnerability of being able to safely be emotional, whereas I feel like men are just getting lonelier and lonelier and lonelier, and we're seeing like ramped up levels of incel culture and even violence. I'm not at all making this video to excuse men for their poor behavior or to excuse them from taking accountability or to say that you should lower your standards when it comes to dating men. You absolutely should not. I'm more just making it to say that the conversation as to why the dating landscape is so bad is multifaceted and stems from how lonely society has become.
So obsessed about body counts. If guys sleep with thousands of women, it doesn't matter. They're legends and it doesn't count. They can just do whatever they want. But women, on the other hand, we're not allowed to sleep with anyone. Ever. Things are still so backwards in 2024 because I feel like it's still only ever acceptable for guys to go out and have fun, but not women. I've been in long-term relationships for most of my life, but I've also been single here and there. But honestly, I do not care about my body count or anyone else's. I don't know why people are still obsessing over that. Can we just make it stop? Like, who cares? If I'm single and I feel like having fun, I'm gonna go and have fun. Go and judge me if you want to. I don't really care. If guys can do it, women should too.
This feels more like a justification for certain choices. Sure, a woman can do as she pleases, date whomever she wants, but a woman who's selective earns a different kind of respect, showing a level of mental and physical health that hasn't been jaded by toxic pasts.
We don't want the man that forgives us. We really don't. We want the man that says, you had your chance, it's been a pleasure, I wish you the best. Because that's the man we respect.
I'm convinced they are attracted to us, but do not like us. And this is such an accurate statement about the men of this generation that we are all currently dating. And I say this, like, me and my friends all the time. They don't like us. They're not interested in us. There's no desire to do certain things because they just don't like us. Not to say because they don't like us, they like the opposite sex, but they just don't like us. I can't explain it. And maybe the reason that they don't like us is because there's now a desire to be us. Not literally, not saying that men want to be women, but they desire the things that we have, right? Like, they want to be chased. They want to be the prize. They want the things that we get. And I don't know why, but that's just the world we're living in now. And I feel like that's where we keep clashing heads, like in the dating realm. Because it's like, well, it's only going to be, only one person can be the prize. Only one person is going to be the chased and the chaser. And I feel like for so long it's been one way. And now all of a sudden they're trying to flip the script and change the roles. And it's not working.
Asking men the question, so what do you love about your girlfriend? Because that is where I unlock the key piece of information of, like, if they're actually a sentient human, like, who feels emotions, or if they're just, like, in a man cage, or if they actually love their girlfriend. Bro, when you ask a dude what he loves about his girlfriend, and he's just like, you know, she's really chill, and, like, she's really sweet. Okay. If you're not bursting out in poetry, I don't think you're real. I don't think you've ever felt anything. Have you guys ever, are you in love? Have you ever actually felt anything? If you love someone, if you're really on that level to be able to say that you're in love with someone, you should be able to say, like, bruh, the curvature of her chin, the way that she talks about her interests and her laugh and her tender, caring nature, her sense of style and uniqueness, her music taste. There's so many reasons to love someone. This doesn't just apply to men, but, like, it just makes me sad that, like, even if they are, like, in love with their girlfriends, or they think that they are, like, the fact that they can't, like, articulate that. And then I start to feel bad for their girlfriends, because it's like, girl, are you getting any, like, love letters written to you? I think all girls deserve to have love letters written to them. I think everyone who's in love deserves to have love letters, you know? Like, bro, it just makes me sad. Because, like, bro, that's a whole person. And you can't even articulate their awesomeness, and you claim to be in love with them. Excuse me. Goodbye.
Her frustration is understandable, but men sometimes struggle to express deep emotions, especially genuine ones. Not everyone has poetic language to serenade a woman's ears, which might explain why romantic novels are so popular. They're women writing for women. Let's see the next clip.
Yeah, she might be prettier, but can she do this?
Go.
How is there even a correlation? Are you gonna carry him on your back and take him to work every single day? Like, this is a necessity. And plus, 15K is not even a lot for a car.
The audacity, bruh. Still be in my house and she pregnant by another dude.
Why does it matter? You with different girls all the time.
What you mean? What you mean?
You with different women all the time.
I ain't with no different women all the time. And if I was, I ain't got nobody pregnant though. I ain't got nobody pregnant though. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. You gotta get out my house.
I'm not going
You gotta get out my house. You gotta get out my house. All that stuff coming out. It's gonna be all that stuff gonna be out. Hey, don't walk up on me. Everybody gonna see this too. This what it look like, bruh. She wanna stay in my crib and she pregnant by another dude. Oh man,
Now, she did bring up the fact that this man did cheat on her in the past. However, I have to say, that's still no right for her to hide or lie behind his back about the child being his. Cheating and putting the responsibility of another man's child on a man are not the same thing. But she is an absolute idiot for cheating on a man who...
Men, honestly, should have to have licenses in order to engage with women. Because what the fuck? What the fuck? I had 3 really awful interactions with men last week and a half ago that made me delete all of the freaking apps off my phone. Okay, and the women, y'all are no better. I'll probably make a separate video about y'all because ugh. Now, I had a horrible summer, an absolutely horrible, traumatic, terrible summer. Terrible fucking summer. And so I decided that this fall I was going to do things for the plot. I was going to date with no intention. I'm going to just, go out, enjoy Houston, have a good time, be very open and honest with people about the fact that that's where I'm at. But I'm just trying to kick it, And because I'm just trying to kick it, I decided that I was going to, widen my age range a little bit. Because again, I'm not trying to marry them. I'm just trying to have a good time. So I widened my age range to be up to 50. Don't judge me, okay? Move it up to 50. And the first one that went south was with a man who was 46 years old. I put in my profile that I am pro-Palestine, I'm pro-gun reform, LGBTQIA trans people, universal health care, bodily autonomy, like all the things, because like, I don't even want to hang out with you socially if we are not on the same page about things that are fundamentally important to us as people. Cool. So this man responds to the video prompt of me saying all those things. And he says, you know what? I agree with that. But I also think that, when you get married, right? I guess he didn't see that I was casually dating or whatever. But he's like, when you get married, I feel like, you need to learn how to agree to disagree and still love each other. I respond in a voice memo because I didn't want to come off as condescending. I say, you know what? Yeah, like I'm a firm believer in that. I think, if we're talking about pizza and you thinking that deep dish is superior to, Chicago tavern style, then yeah, like, babe, we can agree to disagree and I will still love you, regardless of the fact that I think that's fucking crazy. But if we're talking about, basic human rights or my right to do whatever the fuck I want to do with my body, no. But I said it real sweet. He responds to me by saying, you are closed-minded and uncompromising. And, at this age, I need someone who's not going to cause me any stress. And that's such a shame because you're so beautiful. Okay. It was evident to me based on what he said that the reason that he's dating like younger women is because he's looking for someone who's going to put up and shut up. And baby, that's just not going to be me. Never. Second buddy. He's 50 years old. All right. He's 50. We're supposed to go on a date. The day we were supposed to go on the date, I end up feeling very sick. I'm real sick. So I tell him like, hey, I can't do it. We can do it this weekend now. He says, all right, bet. He sends me the place that he wants to take me for brunch. I look at the menu. I'm like, oh, this looks real good. This looks real good. He says, yeah.
And listen, back to the 50-50 thing. If he paying 50 and then you paying 50, I'm just curious to know what is he doing with his other 50. He must have a side chick. He must have a side chick. That means he's paying 50% at the house that y'all stay in and 50% at somebody else's house. All of his money should come home. All of his money should go towards bills, me, and kids if we have them. We don't have kids, pets. All his entire check should come home to me. And that's just because he loves me that much and I'm going to know what to do with it. But if he's only bringing me 50% of his check, my concern is where's the other 50% of the money going? He don't need any new clothes. He's working. All he need is work clothes right now. When it's time to go on vacation or whatever, we'll get that then. But a man who okay with just giving you half of his money, he's only being half of a man to you. That means he giving the other half of himself to another woman. It's just that simple. And if you don't think that it's like that, then you just as crazy as him. Y'all are meant for each other.
It's as if a man can't have hobbies or aspirations worth spending on. What about savings, a new wardrobe, a car fund, or even vacation planning? Seems the man is expected to save for every expense while also being left to guess how to fund a getaway. Perhaps his mistress is supposed to cover that.
Okay, I finished Nobody Wants This on Netflix because I'm in my apartment unpacking because I just moved to a new apartment and I have nothing to do except unpack. And it doesn't look like I unpacked at all today, but I did. And god damn it, is it such a good show because I am single and I am a hopeless romantic again and I am so sick and tired of being everybody's almost and nobody's somebody. Does that make sense to anybody else? Like, does that sentence make sense to anybody else? Can anybody else relate to that? Like, I want to be the person getting kissed in the street. And spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert. I want to be the person that says, don't follow me, that they fucking follow. Until then, there's wine.
Relationship got boring, so we added her best friend to it.
We could like spice things up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
one of the pettiest divorces I've ever done was when the husband did not get the car he wanted. He was so mad at his wife that he came in for a divorce and said she wouldn't let me get my very expensive sports car, so I can't be with her because she doesn't believe that I should have it. So next thing you know, we're filing for divorce, and there you had it, they're done. The wife could not understand that that was the reason. She thought they were happy, and she said we couldn't afford the sports car he wanted, but he didn't care. He thought he had every right to have what he wanted, and she didn't support him.
He probably saved for a car for years, especially since a midlife crisis can hit men hard. And the lack of support from his wife led him to cut ties and seek something new. Divorce. It's the logical ending. Let's move on to the next video.
Men don't want girls who do spicy content, but it's fine when men pay and follow every single spicy content girl they can find. Men don't want girls who are friends with their exes, but it's fine that like he's still friends with every girl he's ever hooked up with.
Women want men that pay for everything, but they don't want to do the dishes or do the laundry. Women want men that are confident and have self-respect, but then get mad at him whenever he has boundaries that she doesn't like. You see, I actually agree with everything that she's saying. I do not think that men should be following OnlyFans models, and I do not think that men should be friends with their exes or anything like that in a relationship. But you see, the problem with women like that is to turn it into it's a man problem, is that they want a man with traditional qualities, but they don't want to play the role of a traditional woman. They want all the benefits that comes from a man being traditional, but they don't want to play their part as well. Because at the end of the day, this isn't a gender war. It's not that men have double standards or women have double standards. It's that stupid fucking people have double standards. Like one that I see all the time is a girl will have a guy friend in a relationship and she'll call her boyfriend insecure for not being okay with it. But then the second that boyfriend gets a girlfriend, she throws a big fucking fit. And then on the other end, there are guys that think it's okay for them to go out and party, but not okay for their girlfriend to go do it. That's a double fucking standard. This is also a double standard, but the big problem today is a lot of people care more about themselves and what they want to do rather than what is good for the relationship.
People would you say you slept with?
It's between 500 and 1,000.
You slept with quite a lot of people. The spring break thing, is that actually real?
Yeah, I mean, so I went to spring break in March up with 122 college boys in 2 weeks. I've recently done freshers in the UK. I shared my location online and I slept with as many as I could.
Well, what's the criteria though?
It needs to be 18 and let me film it. Because I'm so grateful for every subscriber or like fan I've got. It's like the least I can do is sleep with them. People seem to think too deep into it. I have for a living. I really enjoy it. Just because you might not enjoy sleeping with 158 women doesn't mean I don't really enjoy it.
She wanted like 27. 37.
37 a day?
Yeah.
Do you turn around to look when it changes?
This seems over the top. Living for sex alone sounds like giving in to base instincts, and I think she'll regret it in 10 years.
Your name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
Shiloh, 27. You stand like a baddie.
I sound like a baddie?
Yes. And I'm traumatized. Look.
Okay, that's cool.
So that's the only thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've been cheating on my niggas ever since I was like 8 years old. I remember the first time I did it, I thought it was amazing. The thrill of not getting caught at like 9 years old.
Starting life this way doesn't seem wise, though she views it as an accomplishment. Such a shame. Next clip.
Y'all, tell me why I was talking to this guy on this dating app and he was so nice. He was very straightforward about what he wanted. He was like, I want a relationship. I'm not here to play games, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, King, go off. Set your boundaries. I love it. And he was like, we're going to go on a date on Sunday. I've got it planned out. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Like, and he was like, what kind of food do you like? And he like curated this date for me. And I was like, this is so nice. Like, this is going to be great. And so it's like a Tuesday. The date's on Sunday. And I get off work. And I'm like disheveled, you know, no makeup, hair a mess. I'm elbow deep in a box of Cheerios, watching TV. And we were just texting and he was like, so I had mentioned, I was like, we should probably FaceTime before the date just to make sure you're not like a murderer or something. And he was like, oh yeah, let's FaceTime right now. And I was like, well, not like right now. I was like, you know, later. And he was like, no, I don't want some like curated version of you. I want to see you candid. And I was like, oh, I'm shy. Sorry. And he was like, this isn't going to work out.
I think that's a result of what a lot of men have experienced on dating apps. Between the pictures that look nothing like the actual person, the bots, the scammers, the real but flaky women, that man was not playing games, but the fact that you didn't want to FaceTime then and there made him think that you were. And side note, so many women would love the chance with a man that knows what he wants, has boundaries, and can communicate clearly. Because of that, the fact that he had all of these qualities of a solid, good man, I don't think it's too crazy to consider throwing aside your insecurities and doing the FaceTime.
Is how you look right now that important? A casual bun and a bit of lip balm would make her beautiful to him because she'd be genuine and open. Unfortunately, she took the wrong approach.